Ace Podcast.
This is the Super Co-op Squad video game podcast and our E3 preview for Nintendo.
Hey, welcome to another episode of the Super Co-op Squad video game podcast. Today is our E3 preview on Nintendo. We'll be discussing all the rumors, speculations, and announced content that we should see in some form, one way or another, at E3 2018, just about a week away. So this is going to be specifically about Nintendo, what we're seeing from the company, what announcements are going to be. And just to kind of recap, so Nintendo dominated 2017. They had a stellar launch lineup for their Switch console. We saw some great games like Legend of Zelda, Super Mario Odyssey, and strong ports of some of their best Wii U titles as well. But what does Nintendo have up its sleeve for 2018? I think we should just get this out of the way first and foremost with the game that I think most people are anticipating and expecting, and that is Super Smash Brothers.
And this would be coming from Johnny Mac.
What?
Garrett Laney.
Ed Joshua Gerard.
Yeah. So
Howdy.
we're here, guys. Cool. So Super Smash Brothers.
We're all excited for it. I can easily say that every single one of us is excited for Smash Brothers on Switch.
That's an understatement.
Yeah, so I think a lot of rumors were speculation was that this might be a port or a new game. I think that we can agree that this is most likely going to be a port with additional content. At this point, it's not going to be a completely brand new game. There will be some new elements to it, maybe some new character models, but this will be the game that we played on the Wii U on the Switch.
Yes.
I do still think that there is a chance that this will be a new game. I don't believe that, but the possibility is there.
Yeah, we'll see. Now, is this the time for this? This is year number 2. The gameplay for Super Smash Bros. on the Wii U is still alive and kicking. Your thoughts, your take on this game coming to the Switch this year?
Yeah, I'd rather take a kind of a port than a new game, simply because if you didn't have an opportunity to play this on the Switch or the 3DS, or if you want to play the DLC content, or maybe you want to get back into it for the Switch, I think this is a great time to do it. You just bring back what everybody loved about the older game, maybe tweak some stuff that people didn't like, tweak Bayo and a couple other little things, and then just put something fresh in it, add some new characters, add some new stages, and just reinvent the game that, in my opinion, is the best Smash Brothers game to date.
Cool.
This is a great time. It's needed. No, I guess it's not needed for the Switch. The Switch is doing stupendous. It's getting a lot of sales, and it has a lot of great titles, but there is no Smash Brothers games of any kind, of any, iteration, on the Switch. Eventually it does need to come, and I'm happy it's this year. We're months away from it.
Yeah, I mean, this is the right time. The Wii U, I think, honestly, it's gone. They don't support it at all at this point. Other than just games being able to be played online, and who knows how long that's going to last. I mean, they may not want to continue to have those servers up and available for the Wii U version of Super Smash Brothers. They may want to just get those servers changed over or taken down so they can devote resources to everything for the Nintendo Switch, especially because they want to open up their Nintendo Online.
I don't see that happening anytime soon.
I can see it happening quicker than you think. I don't see it happening this year, but at some point it just doesn't make sense for them to run servers on the Wii U when they don't have to.
I just say not everyone has a Switch yet, but everyone does have a Wii U. Well, everyone who has a Wii U has Smash Brothers and is still playing online.
Well, yes, you are correct, but keep in mind that the Wii U had one of the lowest sales of a console that they've ever had, ever. So that being said, that the install base that they have on the Wii U is already, I think, less than what they have on the Switch.
Oh,
so who are they supporting at that point? Like, the few people holding on, especially if the Super Smash Brothers on Switch has record-breaking numbers or great numbers. Like, I think they could probably say a large percentage of people have migrated to the Switch. I couldn't see them allocating resources to both when they clearly just wanted to abandon the Wii U. But I think we'd get at least another year, possibly,
maybe
before they switch. Yeah, at most, before they switch those things off. So expectations, what are we looking for? What do you expect to see at this E3 this year?
Well, as we've talked about previously, this year Smash Brothers will have a ticket system, some sort of. You can't just line up and play it. There's vouchers. There's certain times you can play it. So it's going to be hard to see exactly and be able to play and see what they have. I'm thinking there's going to be a lot of, it's going to be a lot like the Wii U Smash Brothers. I think there's going to be a very select few, characters. I hardly even doubt there's going to be any new ones that you'll be able to play. Except for the Squid, the Inkling Squid Kid. I think that'll be an available character. I don't think anything else. We haven't heard anything else. We're pretty much speculating there's going to be an ARMS character in the game. I don't think it'll be available to play at E3. And probably, I think it's just going to be a lot of the Wii U version with slight changes, like just the Inkling and maybe just a Splatoon stage.
Yeah, I see a big booth, just Smash related. You'll maybe have some standout characters, maybe some stage props, and a lot of costume themes. I mean, they did really a lot of cool work with Mario Odyssey, the whole Odyssey theme. I mean, they did the same thing with Zelda the previous year, so I see them going big on Smash Brothers.
I disagree with them just having a Squid Kid or Splatoon Girl, whatever you want to call her, playable. I think they will have at least one, maybe two other playable characters that are brand new or returning characters we haven't seen in this previous iteration for the Wii U.
Ice Climbers.
Oh, you mean like Pichu? Young Link?
Yeah, probably not them, but maybe Ice Climbers would make a return, or someone else. It could be Pichu. Maybe not. Young Link will never come back.
No, we got two.
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild Link.
Yeah, but Pichu could make a return. I'd actually really like that, as well as Wolf. I'd like that. Maybe Snake. Yeah. Snake would be freaking awesome.
Man, I miss Snake.
Although I doubt it, but I mean, I'd love it.
Yeah.
But I expect this only because there's no other reason for them to have this ticket system. I mean, granted, yes, the booth will be packed either way, but if Smash Brothers in the demo units there is only one additional character, I don't think they're going to get the hype that they expect. So that must mean they're going to give us more because people are going to want to be at that booth for a reason.
I disagree. It's Smash Brothers. People are going to line up anyway, and you're going to have a ticket system to kind of alleviate the stress and the lines there. So I don't think they need to have anything there. Smash Brothers being there on Switch alone is going to draw in a huge amount of people.
Okay.
Yeah. But I agree with that, but I also side a little bit more with Johnny. If you have 2, 3, or 4 characters that have not been on this newest iteration, that's going to bring more hype and more people to want to go to that booth or maybe even look at it on the sides compared to not. So if you're going to have 10 new characters, maybe have 3 of them. And bring back, an old favorite, a new character, and then like another guest character that hasn't been on here or something.
Otherwise, there's no reason to have a ticket system.
Crazy.
If there's a ticket system, yes, you're right. It will be busy, but why would a port of a Smash Brothers game with nothing new essentially generate more foot traffic than a brand new game?
Because it's Smash Brothers. I'm literally going with that. Of course, I want there to be more stuff.
But you think there's not going to be?
I think there's going to be just a Squid Kid and a Squid or a Splatoon stage.
Yeah, I think you're wrong, and I guess we'll find out in about a week.
Yep. Looking forward to it. I hope I'm wrong.
I hope you're wrong too.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Buying this.
All right, moving on.
Yeah, we all know we're all buying it.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
Day one.
All right, Bayonetta 3. So I am most certain we are going to see information on Bayonetta. They've already had one teaser trailer release, developed by Platinum Games, published, of course, by Nintendo, coming exclusively for the Switch. Your thoughts on this, guys? Take.
I think it'll come out this year. I think it'll be a great, game to add. Bayonetta 2 was exclusive. Bayonetta 3 will be exclusive. Bayonetta is just getting a little bit more popularity with each passing year as far as announcements, and then coming on, the most popular vote, add-on for Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
So, I'm looking to see if there's something different, whether it be adding another character that'll be playable to kind of like the Virgil to Dante in the new DMC Devil May Cry.
Yeah.
Something like that, or maybe a cooperative mode, which maybe doesn't have to be split screen because that would be too much. Maybe, you're playing one character on one screen and then on a different TV you're playing Bayo, and kind of doing some trials or something.
Like a co-op
that
kind of
way.
thing?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's definitely possible.
I don't have, well, there's not much information on this yet. So I do definitely, there's going to be a lot more news at E3. Man, love to be there. Love to see the I guess presentation of it.
I'll let you know how many people are there as I walk by and ignore it.
All three of them.
There'll probably be someone like cosplaying as Bayo with, pictures taken and
That'd be pretty
have
cool.
a small little booth for it.
That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, you're right, Joshua. With each iteration, she's getting more and more popular. Her winning that popularity, or I guess guest character for Smash Brothers, says a lot for Bayo to be in Smash Brothers. So I think that's going to be really cool. I'm hyped for it. I'm excited for it. I do think they have a kind of virtual character already that was introduced in the second one. I believe it's Jean. Can't remember her name exactly, but she does have a kind of like counterpart already. So I'd like to see more story, more new characters and a bigger, I guess, setting. One thing that Platinum does is they have huge like set pieces where you'll start the game in one area and the game will end in a completely just massive area that you did not see coming. So I'm excited to see where that's going to go.
I don't care about this game. I mean, it is what it is. I'm glad that people enjoy it, but it's not for me, at all.
Fair enough.
As far as expectations, what do we expect to see, for information or trailers or content at E3?
I expect a trailer with a new outfit, new style, maybe mid-length hair instead of super long and super short. I expect there to be a booth with maybe 3 or 4 screens, and that's it. Small little booth.
I'm just what I'm expecting is just maybe like a trailer. I don't think there's going to be a section for it.
No gameplay.
I don't think so. Not.
I mean, no playability on the show floor.
I don't think so. No, I think it's just going to be a kind of just a teaser video, maybe on the big screen that they have up there.
Just playing loop.
Yeah, that's what I see.
Yeah, I couldn't see them putting out or having an actual demo available. So we'll get a trailer. We'll probably maybe get a live display of the game out there, maybe on like not their Nintendo conference, but their
what is that, a treehouse thing?
Yeah, not their treehouses maybe, but yeah, I mean we'll see what we get.
A Nintendo Direct.
Yeah, so something like that. We'll get some information. That's about it. And I honestly think they're going to have her have a different hair color, or have a mode where her hair color turns white or blonde or something like that.
I'm going to say no to that.
Devil trigger.
We'll see.
Should be blonde. Ew.
Buying this.
Nope. Garrett is buying this.
Nope. I
Joshua,
don't
not buying
care.
it.
Yep. This is not on my radar.
Maybe a rent, but probably not.
Cool. All right. Next game, Fire Emblem on Switch.
A game we know even less about. They have not said anything about it other than it's coming.
Yeah, we have no information on what kind of game this is going to be. Is it going to be a traditional Fire Emblem game, with a turn-based sort of strategy RPG, or is it going to
for
be,
sure.
Yeah, it would have to be.
I mean, that's a very strong possibility, but again, we have no information. And recently in Fire Emblem, they've gone away from that a little bit.
Talking about with Shadows of Valentia?
I'm talking about with Fire Emblem Warriors, with even with Fire Emblem Heroes. Like, it's just a very different sort of Fire Emblem. They may look to take the series in different ways. I could even see them going with a fighting game, pure and simple.
I think because they already came out with those, that this is going to be just your standard Fire Emblem game, just on the Switch.
I think it's more than likely, but like you just said, it was cool. I really could see them doing a fighting game. Nintendo really doesn't have a true fighting game that they can call their own.
Yeah, they do. It's called Smash Brothers.
Yeah, I mean, but that's not a true fighting game. It's a
how
dare you say
Fire Emblem characters.
I love Smash Brothers, but it's not.
You're talking about your 3D 1v1.
Yeah, a 1v1 type, just standard fighter.
Yeah,
I mean,
2D, please.
And I would prefer for it to be 2D.
That's what I meant. 3D background, 2D.
I think that Fire Emblem would be the series to do it with. I mean, they've got tons of iconic characters that Fire Emblem fans enjoy and care about, who have very different weapons, fighting styles. It would be cool. Now,
Soul Calibur.
Will this be that? Probably not. 99% chances it's not going to be that, but it would be an interesting choice.
I would see if this is something that comes out a couple years down the line, I see them making like a compilation of Fire Emblem games and then just releasing it on Switch. Like if you didn't get to play Path of Radiance, if you didn't get to play
I think that game's
Radiant
$80.
Dawn. Yeah. I mean, GameCube and Wii, they'll probably do a couple of their recent titles and just put it as a trilogy or
maybe kind of like how they did with the Metroid Prime trilogy.
Yeah.
I would love that. Cool. But I'm a sucker for compilations.
Cool. So what are we going to see at E3?
Nothing on Fire Emblem.
You don't even think we'll get any information?
Nope.
I don't think so. I think the next news for Fire Emblem, I think, will be in a Nintendo Direct.
On its own?
Not its own. I think one of those ones where it's like, here's what's coming up in, I don't know, 2019 maybe. Where it'll just be part of it. Yeah. I think that's the next time we'll hear anything on Fire Emblem.
I think we'll hear about something at whatever Nintendo Direct, or Treehouse Live event, whatever you want to call it, that they have, since they kind of eschew doing standard. Yeah, since they eschew doing standard conferences, we'll definitely get some information, even if it's small, about this. It's just they wouldn't go that long without talking about it. Is this a buy? As little as we know.
Maybe.
No.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Metroid Prime 4. So
I think this whole thing's going to be buys for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's Nintendo and you are in their pocket. So, yeah, Metroid Prime 4. No, not much information about this either.
No gameplay, no studio.
Well, I think we do have a studio, isn't it, Retro?
No, it has not been confirmed yet.
Okay.
I think some people are hoping and leaning towards Platinum Games, but that hasn't actually been confirmed.
I actually hope not. They do a different type of game, in my opinion. And I don't think Metroid Prime... Well, it's a Metroid Prime game. I don't think it's going to be that.
I don't know. If it's retro, that'd be cool.
I'm pretty sure it's retro.
Already done, but I mean, they've been making Donkey Kong games for the last several years.
Damn good ones, too.
Yeah. So, we shall see. I definitely think something will be shown. Yeah, I don't know if it'll be gameplay or some type of trailer.
Yeah, they've got to pull these franchises out. I mean, unless they're going to go to another Legend of Zelda or another Mario, they can't afford to not have their big franchises drop, because as much as they've done well with their franchises for the Switch, they still don't have great ports. And I know they've got ports, but it's all old stuff. It's stuff from 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 3 years ago. They don't have anything new to support them. There's no Red Dead Redemption 2 coming. There's no Anthem coming. Like, if they stop making these big titles of their own, they will have no big titles. So they've got to have some information on Metroid, hopefully on Fire Emblem. So I think they will have to have some information on this.
I agree with you that they do need to keep supporting their first party stuff. I don't think we're going to get any information on Metroid Prime during E3.
Okay, I'm interested to see what you think we're going to hear.
We're going to hear a lot. We're going to hear a lot of about Mario Tennis. We're going to hear about Smash Brothers. We're going to hear about stuff that we already know. Is what I'm saying.
Did you jump on the beta?
I did not.
Nah, I missed it. I was working all weekend. It's over now.
So what's your take on this? Because I mean, Metroid Prime 3 was the end of that trilogy, right? So where would this go?
I never played Metroid Prime 3. My brother kills me for it. I think I would not be surprised if Metroid goes a somewhat different route. It'll still have the same feel, but how Zelda was new and fresh on the Switch, Mario was new and fresh on the Switch. I feel like they would do something different with Metroid, where it adds some new feature or some new gameplay mechanic or twist that's still Metroid. Maybe do like they did in Mario Odyssey, where you go into some type of door and all of a sudden you're playing like a 2D Metroid or something like that.
I think that Metroid Prime 4 is going to be a lot of the Metroid Primes that we've had so far. It might be some new stuff, some new weapons, some new suits, new environment. But I think that kind of genre change or that kind of style change in a series, I think if that's going to come from Metroid, it's going to be from a 2D Metroid already. It's going to be from a brand new, like not even been announced yet, genre.
I mean, even though this has the Prime moniker, that doesn't necessarily mean, right, that it can't be a 2D game.
It kind of does, in my opinion.
I mean, is that something that is your opinion, or something that's known? Like, I don't think
I think it's known. Metroid Prime means it's Prime. You're going to be first person. You're going to be You're going to be in Samus's helmet. You're going to be Samus.
Yeah, I mean, well, aren't you always Samus in all the games?
Well, you're actually putting yourself.
You're Samus.
You're seeing it from her eyes.
Okay, fair enough. So it's a first person view.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I think that's assumed. I don't think that's ever something that Nintendo has stated as a fact.
No.
So I mean, I think that they could, change up the they could change, up the expectation, and it could be something very different like that.
I don't want a Metroid Prime 2 where it's Light World, Dark World, Light World, Dark World. Like I don't
need for Zelda.
But it was pretty strenuous in echoes.
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
Yeah, too much backtracking in that one.
Yep. So E3 expectations. What do you expect to see, if anything?
Trailer, maybe a little bit of gameplay, maybe like Other M, where it was like a little bit of gameplay, a little bit of cutscene, a little mix. But don't make it like Other M.
Yeah, I think we'll get a release date. It won't be this year, but we will get a release date.
I think it'll be
at least a year.
I think it'll be spring of next year.
I don't think we're going to get anything from E3. Not from Metroid Prime.
Okay, cool. All right, next title, Yoshi. Unannounced Yoshi.
You're not going to ask us if we're going to buy it?
Buying.
Hell yeah!
No.
Yes.
It's not even a hell yes for you, it's just a yes?
Johnny, I think, has had one yes.
Johnny
so far.
might as well just trade in his Switch.
Well, I can't because Super Smash Brothers is coming.
There you go.
And I got my Switch for free, so there's no point to sell it. All right, unannounced Yoshi.
There's nothing but profit.
It's fine.
Yoshi. Do we know? I don't know anything about this. I didn't know there was a Yoshi.
Yeah, they have a Yoshi title coming. I mean, is
it Woolly World?
It's going to probably be in that same cutesy sort of style that they seem to have Yoshi and Kirby adopt as of late.
I don't think it'll be Yarn.
It will not be Yarn, but it will be something very easygoing, which
will it be wool?
In my opinion, it's the wrong way to go with Yoshi. You don't have to make his games cutesy, fun, and easy. Like, you can make them challenging.
Did you play Woolly World?
Yes, it's nothing. It's like I'm playing on autopilot. Did you play Woolly World?
No, I'm asking if you played.
You could have played with your feet for the most part.
Well, I mean, I'm that good, so.
Also, the game it's designed just to win. But yeah, this will come, and it's interesting that Yoshi continue to try to make that its own standalone titles of platformers. I don't know if there's room for it in the Mushroom Kingdom.
For Yoshi to be his own independent dinosaur?
Or at least in this way, for him to have these type of games. Like, we already have platformers with Kirby that has its own sort of, shtick, and then Mario has his shtick. I don't see Yoshi having any room within that.
Do you have an idea of what kind of game, just in general, what kind of genre you'd like to see a Yoshi title?
I mean, there could be a lot of different ways you can go. It can be a platform, but I don't think this is the type of platformer. I think maybe a much more challenging platformer.
Give him a baby to carry. Yeah, that was challenging.
Maybe one where it's different. Maybe
throw him into parenthood. That's always a challenge.
Maybe one where I don't know. You've got to use a lot more like sequencing to like get from point A to point to Z. Like Mario's got a lot of levels that you just run flat, and then there's something in the middle of these levels to deal with. Maybe this is something where it's very dependent on your ability to jump and use his glide and things like that, and it hasn't been that.
Like Mario Run.
Maybe not exactly.
That's
like
exactly
that.
what you described.
No. I mean, like something where like you have a small platform, and you have to hover and fly, and then there's another small platform, and maybe you have to grab like a specific shell and like shoot fire. Like there's
kinda
different
like
ways.
A Super Meat Boy.
No, you're not. You guys are just like throwing out platformers.
Like Braid.
So hype. What do we expect to see at E3?
Nah, no hype. Maybe a cute little gameplay trailer.
There might be something for Yoshi. I don't know if we have anything on it other than they just said there's going to be a Yoshi game. If that's the case and all we have is there will be a Yoshi game, I don't think we're going to see anything at E3.
Yeah, I think honestly this will come out this year. They need something to come out this holiday, and as of yet, all the games we talked about, the only one that is coming out is Super Smash Brothers, and we'll talk about it in a bit, but Mario Tennis. That's not enough. That's not enough for really a full year when the only other
and
game
Pokemon.
No.
Pokemon, Let's Go Pikachu.
No, that I think that's gonna bomb.
Okay, let's go Eevee.
Yep.
Okay, fine.
Let's go Pikachu, you stay put.
So speaking of, are we buying Yoshi?
No.
Pokemon. So we already know the titles on this. Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu. This is releasing this year, sometime probably in the summer. I don't think they gave a release date.
They said November, like 16th.
Boom, there we go. Take on this. What are you guys expecting? What do you guys want?
I mean, besides our normal episode 83, I think this will be a hit. I think there's still people that I see, every now and then. It's a group of like 4 or 5 people, hiding behind a an In-N-Out or something that are looking for Pokemon.
Of all the places.
I see it. Every now and then I'll drive like Uber and I'll go to a spot, drop somebody off, and people's holding their phone or they have Pokemon Go on their phone. So there's still people that play it. And
yeah, there's still a concurrent 65 million people worldwide who still play this game.
This will bring people to go back to it. And I think Nintendo usually has a hook for their popular games to reel you back in. That Pokeball Plus is going to hook people back in.
Yep, I agree.
And it's going to be sold out just like the
Poke Walker thing?
No, not the
watch.
Yeah, whatever.
Poke Watch.
Yeah, whatever it was called. This is going to hook people right back in.
Yeah.
Because people are just going to want it. Maybe not even just to play the game, just to have that and carry it with them.
I agree. I think this game is going to be big. I'm personally not that interested in it, but it's definitely going to take off. It's going to be pretty popular. I don't think it's going to bomb.
Well, the thing that Johnny had mentioned in episode 83, just the fact that there's red and blue, and you can't have multiple save files, and you have to essentially Nintendo's telling you have to go buy two. They have two. These are two different games. Pikachu and Eevee are two separate games that are probably going to be $60 a piece. So if you want both versions, if you want to carry Pikachu on your shoulder one and Eevee on the other, you have to get both. So this is another way for Nintendo to kind of reel that in, to separate who wants what.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't expect much from this game, but yeah, we will see, I think, a fair bit of information on how it's played, how do you utilize it. I'm not very excited for this. Will not be buying it.
I mean, there was a fair amount in the trailer, and you actually do fight in Pokemon battles. So I'm interested to see how much of it is what Pokemon is compared to actually like having one of these characters with you all the time.
From what I've seen, it does look like a core Pokemon game. Until you start seeing the motions and the Joy-Cons, it looks like an actual Pokemon game. Looks reminiscent of like Sun and Moon, where it's that kind of close-up third-person action. That it's not top-down like the old Pokemon games. I can see how people could mistake this as the 2019 core Pokemon game. As far as hype, I'm not that excited for it. I do think it's going to be very popular.
No hype.
Yeah. E3 expectations. There's going to be some news. I'm imagining Treehouse stuff. Maybe just in a.
I mean, the game's coming out this year. They're gonna focus on this at E3.
Yeah. I don't think a big focus. I'm just saying,
it'll be there.
Yeah, it'll be there for sure. And am I buying it? I am not.
No buy.
Now, will we see information about the unannounced Pokemon 2019 game?
Nope.
That's going to be direct.
I don't think
direct.
We won't get any information on that. And I am also not buying this Pokemon game. And then we have obviously Super Mario Tennis. I don't know if we want to go into that at all. Mario Tennis Aces.
I've heard really good things about it from people that played it. From tweets I've read and people actually acknowledging that they played the game. Like, it looks like it's kind of cheeky and, there's a new system. It doesn't look like people are actually liking it. It's really addicting and they're hooking people back in. So I'm curious to see if this is really going to drive sales.
I think it'll do better than the previous one, only because they seem to be taking a more competitive focus on this game, whereas the last one was not so much competitive, more cutesy and
casual.
Yeah, casual, and it allowed for people to exploit some specific ways to play with like power moves and stuff.
Yeah, this one's more grounded.
Yeah, and I think that's a smarter way to go. It should be more fun because it's more competitive. And I think that's, like, for instance, that's the reason that Super Smash Brothers does so well, is because you can play it very casually for fun, or you can play it very competitively.
And for money.
And that'd be...
For glory.
Sure.
For honor.
And that should be the way that this game works. I mean, the same thing is with Mario Kart or Splatoon. Like, those are all games that you can play very competitively, to one degree or another. And you could also play very casually. So there's that. So possible ports, there's a lot of games that people are asking, begging for, especially from the Wii U, that were great games in and of themselves, but just because of the low sales of the Wii U, didn't really get a fan base to play them. And we got games like Captain Toad, Metroid Prime, Wonderful 101. Metroid Prime came from, the Wii, but whatever, and GameCube. Super Mario Maker is a big one that people are expecting. Super Mario 3D World, several of the new Super Mario Brothers games, Xenoblade Chronicles. What do you guys expect to come in this next year to the console.
Well, we already know Captain Toad is getting a port. We know Xenoblade
Is it
Chronicles
a port
X
or is it
getting
a new thing?
It's a port. It's
Okay.
getting ported to the Switch and 3DS.
Okay, yeah.
And Xenoblade Chronicles X, they've already announced will be ported over as well.
Okay, check those off.
I think it would be smart to do a Metroid Prime trilogy just for people that haven't played the older one to go back in to get to the fourth one.
That would be so good on the Switch.
Make it where you don't have to use motion controls. Please.
Agreed.
Nintendo, do it. No motion controls or an option.
An option. That's always the best choice.
Give us an option.
Always the best choice. I 100% agree with that Metroid Prime trilogy. I would love for that to be on the Switch, being able to play with those Joy-Cons. And I might do the motion if it's on the Joy-Con. I'm not going to do the motion if it's, with the Wii U tablet or whatever.
But I think what would be difficult is doing the motion on a small screen.
Yeah. I mean, it would be difficult. Again, that wouldn't be the ideal way to play, but with the power of the Switch, you put it in the dock and you're back on the TV.
Well, the thing I see that if you're playing it in handheld mode and you don't remove the Joy-Cons, you can't do it with motion.
That's why it's an option.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's you hope.
Yeah, well, that's what in our dream world, it would be an option. Super Mario Maker for sure. That's coming. That was very popular.
I don't think it's coming to Switch.
I think it's coming to Switch 100%.
Because they haven't focused on utility and how you were going to seamlessly use it without a stylus. Because everything was predicated on using a stylus on the Wii U. And of course, you have a stylus on the 3DS. The Switch doesn't have a slot for a stylus, and they have yet to really showcase any games that use touchscreen, even though it's capable of doing it. There's no games that really heavily are guided on touchscreen.
That's fair. You wouldn't have to 100% use the motion, use the touchscreen or use a stylus. I'm sure it's much easier and faster that way. But it's not a necessity. It's not, you need the stylus to play this game. You can just use you should be able to just use the analog sticks.
It wouldn't take much to just make it a little easier to do so. And it's not hard to incorporate using a touchscreen if they need to for that one.
Hell, maybe every copy of, Mario Maker comes with a stylus.
That will not happen. I think that honestly, all of their first party titles or the majority of them that should make it from the Wii U, maybe not Wii U Sports and things like that are, complete motion controls, but all their games that are number one franchise first party titles need to get ported over, and they need to make those, $20, $30. They won't make them 20, but they could make them 30. 29, yeah, $29.99. 40 is too much, but whatever. We'll see. Make those games like their little Nintendo greatest hits or whatever, so Nintendo Selects, and just throw up a bunch of them at some point. Yeah, just spit them out at some point during the year. Maybe periodically, 2 every month or something. Just to pad out the game, because honestly, I see it happening. If they don't start putting out some of these big franchise games very soon, they're gonna run into the same issue that other consoles have had, where they don't have enough first party content. So we'll see. What is Nintendo doing well, and what can they do better going into their second year with their new console?
Let's see. As far as doing well, what I think they're doing well is they're giving you something for every kind of gamer. Whatever genre you're into, it's being supported on the Switch one way or another. I think that's really cool. I think that's why it's so popular. And they're also kind of even thinking outside the Labo boxes and pulling those people in as well with that kind of just out of the field, left field, whatever. Sports idioms.
You tried.
Yeah. But they're getting that kind of, not weird crowd, but that unorthodox kind of, draw.
Yeah. I mean, they're still staying true to their nature, which is being able to do their own thing. They're still coming up with new innovative things. Labo is a testament to that. They still come up with stuff that, for the most part, it might be quirky, weird, or just something that you're like, I'll never touch that. But it still sells, maybe not gangbusters, but it still does well, because that's what Nintendo does. They still have a great lineup. And what I think they're doing really well is they're spreading it throughout the year. We still had a couple of really good games come out in the first quarter. We have a couple games that are lining up for summer with Mario Tennis and Octopath Traveler. And then, in E3, they're going to show us what's going to come out at the end of the year. So they spread it out really well.
Yeah, I think that they've done a good job in this first year of putting out enough big hit games, and they've talked about other big hit games. I think that, for many years, there were certain franchises for Nintendo that just seemed to be like off their radar. They just didn't discuss it. There were no games coming out. There was no news. And there's still some of those, but there's less. And
F-Zero.
Yeah, F-Zero was one. Metroid was another. Like
Star Fox.
Star Fox. They just buried these things and left them there, under piles of shovelware from other games. And they're not doing that now. We're getting information on them, bringing these things back, which is good. What can they do better? After this first year, what can they do better?
Online stuff. I mean, what do you like to call it? NSO?
It's NSO?
Yeah.
Nintendo Switch Online.
Yeah. So we're the games. We're the backwards compatible games. Where is the virtual console that we now know we're not going to get? Where is the older stuff I want to buy for the 5th time and play it on my new system? Like, bring that information out. Give a little bit more to your shop. I mean, the 3DS has, there's so much in the 3DS, shop. The Switch doesn't have, they have games, but it doesn't have the sense of Nintendo. It doesn't have that shine and that polish to it when I open up the store. It doesn't have that fancy music that I used to love. Bring it back.
Okay, cool.
I agree a lot with what Joshua was saying. More so, or with an emphasis on their older stuff. I want to see GameCube games on there. I want to see, go back to the 64. A lot of the virtual console stuff. I want to see support for their older franchises and older games. Something else that I think they can do better is kind of. I do want to see them ease up or at least give an option to motions. It's not for everybody. Not everybody likes it. I get that they kind of want to make things more intuitive, and they put a lot of technology and they put a lot of work into their Joy-Cons. With all that kind of how can we make it sound like there's ice cubes in the Joy-Con and all that. That's fine and great, and I'm sure there's a lot of implications for games with all that, but I want to see them take a step back and stop trying to just shove motions down everybody's throat.
Cool. There's a lot that I feel they can do better, as much as they are doing well. First and foremost, they need third-party support, and it's something that they continue to struggle with, and they're doing better. I will admit they're doing better. They're bringing games like Dark Souls. They're bringing old school classic games. They're bringing hits. They're bringing Doom. They're finding ways to get content. They're bringing Elder Scrolls to the console. But these are all things that are older, and as well as, even though they might be staples of the community from a few years ago, they're still from a few years ago. I need to see them continue to establish relationships with things that are current, Madden and NBA or 2K. I need to see, Anthem coming to Xbox One, PS4, and the Switch. I want to see that, because that just bridges the gap for people to think of it as a console and not just Nintendo. And yes, they will succeed with Nintendo, but they will just do better if they're a reason for people to just have that one console. If people go, well, there's all these games I want that are on PS4, Xbox One, and they will not come to Switch, well, you're Xing out of people who need Anthems and who need Madden, who need Rocket League, things like that. So, find a way, figure it out. I know you don't have to have the most powerful console, but you do have to have bare minimums to get those sorts of games. And I think that's hurting them. And then, backwards compatibility or some way to have an online store that does have all those legacy games would be nice. So that's my take. Last little bit here before we move on. What's a franchise or a game that you want? Like, you just want to see them drop it this E3?
You already mentioned F-Zero. Did you want F-Zero to come back?
I'd like to see it come back. It's not one of my franchises. I've never really gotten into F-Zero. I just noticed it's not getting supported.
All right, what is your game? Or yours, Joshua?
I don't know. I'm always happy to see more support for Metroid. We have that coming. Fire Emblem, same thing. So I guess I'm gonna throw in with Star Fox. Star Fox did have a game recently on the Wii U, Star Fox Zero. Again, they heavily went into motion controls with that and gyro controls and all that stuff, and I think that's kind of what held it back. I would love to at least see Star Fox Zero as a port, minus that.
Okay.
Or just Star Fox in general.
You can get another Dinosaur Planet game.
You know what? I liked Star Fox
Tricky can
Adventures.
come back?
Where are we going?
I don't know.
I liked it.
All right, what do you got, Joshua?
I really want to see Tetris Attack come back. I think that's a puzzle game that's just long forgotten. I mean, they did bring it back with Pokemon Puzzle League on the Nintendo 64, and I think that needs to come back. Just give me my puzzle game back. I mean, there hasn't been a real like Tetris game in a while. Granted that, you know, they used to have one for almost every console up till the Switch or the Wii U, I believe. So give me that back.
Cool. My game would be Paperboy. I would really like for them to bust out a new Paperboy game. It's a fun game. It was a very challenging game, very quirky and different, many years ago. So if they brought back a Paperboy game, that would be really fun.
Is that a Nintendo IP?
I don't know if it is, but it was only on Nintendo consoles.
It's on PC.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Long time ago.
And Sega Genesis.
Well, it was on the
But
60.
okay,
They
we'll
did have a
bring it
64
back.
version.
But all right, Paperboy.
That'd be mine. Cool. All right, guys. Well, that is our take, our discussion on the E3 preview for Nintendo. Sometime next. Yes.
I got one. Sorry, I'm gonna do the thing. We didn't talk about it because they didn't come up. Do you think they're gonna come up with like another Switch version, like a Switch 2.0 with like more memory, or a mini Switch?
Nintendo doesn't do that very often. Not with their consoles.
I agree with Johnny. I don't think there's going to be a Switch Pro. I don't think it needs to have a new system with more memory, because I think you can just buy cards. Does it have SD card support?
Yeah,
so-
but I think it needs more internal memory, because 32 or whatever 16 is not enough.
It's pathetic, is what it is. Honestly,
Is it 16 or 32?
It's 32,
I
but
don't
it
remember.
is it's laughable that it would have that little.
Yeah.
All right, well, that is our take on the Nintendo E3 preview. Barring any other interruptions from Joshua.
No, you didn't ask me for a final say, so.
All right. We hope you enjoyed that, guys, and we'll see what Nintendo comes with once E3 kicks off next weekend. Any other ideas, thoughts, discussions you want to have with us? Make sure you email us, contact@scspodcast.net, or reach out to us on Twitter @SuperCoopSquad, or join us on Facebook for discussion, facebook.com/Super Co-op Squad. As always, we hope you enjoyed the show, and I am Johnny Mack.
I'm Garrett.
I'm Joshua.